Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today I'm going to tie one that I found on Frosty Fly's website, and it is called Orange and Yellow Ribbed Nymph. It's actually a barbless ribbed nymph, but the hook that I have on actually has a barb. But I can just crimp that down. But anyway, I have a 3mm gold bead. You could tie these down to 12, 14, 16. I'm going to use yellow thread. I'm going to start by getting a base of thread on the hook. And hopefully I can do this fly some justice. But we'll see. And I'm going to bring it slightly around the bend. You could probably use a straight hook for this also. For the tail, I'm going to use a, this is a bit of a speckled Coq de Leon hackle. Actually, this particular one isn't really speckled fantastically, but the whole thing is you want some nice stiff hackles for the tail. So we're going to tie this in. And it looks like they rolled. I just rolled them back up. And I'm going to bring my thread up to the front. Try to keep some tight wraps there. You could probably do this with a heavier thread too. This one here is an 8/0 thread, and I think it was a Danville or something, but it's a yellow thread. Now I'm going to take, what I have is Frosty Fly stretch rib, and this is the clear. I'm actually going to tie this in, starting at the tip there. I'm going to actually stick it in my bead. And once I get it pretty secured, here we go. Now as I'm going to wrap it pretty tight. But as I'm going to stretch it so that I could almost get a taper on the body with it. And I'm stretching it pretty good now. You want to keep those, I'm stretching it really far now. And then when you get to the tail, you want to secure that pretty well so that it doesn't grow when you let the pressure off, like so. And then we can actually use the thread to make a little bit more of a taper on the body. And I'm going to come back on it. And I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to start forward. And you can continue to do this until you get the desired shape that you want. And I'm going to go one more time. I'm not going to go as far again, and I'm going to come forward. So you can see I'm getting a taper there. I'm going to bring the thread all the way back up to the bead again. Now before I go any further, I'm just going to take an orange Sharpie or an orange permanent marker. I'm going to go around, maybe taper it in there a little bit more. Got a little more on the top than on the bottom. Kind of blend it there a bit. Now I'm going to pull my stretch rib pretty tight. I'm actually going to go counter on this because I may pull my tail over to the wrong side. And going counter just on this particular one itself, going counter wrap, I'm going to pull that tail back into position where it should be. And I'm stretching this pretty good. It seems like you can't break it. And we're going to come right up with it. Again, keeping that stretch in there. And also by stretching it, it's not going to spring back on you. I mean, if you let it go, you're definitely going to spring back on you, but it helps, by stretching it, it helps you to wrap that body tighter. I'm going to get one more right up to the head. There we go. I got a little bit of space there. There we go. Just to fill in that little bit of gap there that I had by the head. And once you get several securing wraps, then you can let the tension off. I'm going to take my poke and snip. I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to trim it. Okay, there we go. Need to sharpen my poke and snip a bit. And there we have it, the orange and yellow body. I know, I'm just looking at a picture of this, and we want black in the front. So all I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to take my black Sharpie and I'm going to go around with it. Actually going to color my thread black so I don't end up with yellow streaks in there. And I got a pretty good amount of thread on there, which is going to suck in the black marker better than the stretch rib, because the stretch rib is plastic or some kind of a rubber. Now, you want to have some legs on there, and you can use some fur with guard hair in there. I'm going to take a little bit of the Black Rabbit crystal dub that I used when I made the balanced leech, because I made way too much of it. And that crystal dub, that'll give it a little bit sparkle there. You don't want it real thin, but I'm going to go ahead and tie this. You want a decent amount because I'm going to pick it out. Go ahead and whip finish that. Tighten that in there. I'm going to take my dubbing teaser, and again I'm using the 22 bore brush. I'm going to tease it out, and mostly on the bottom and the sides. It's small, you don't want to tease it too far. If you get it too much, you can just pluck that out. There we go. Take it from the sides and kind of go down with it. If you have it, you can take a little bit of UV cure, and it could be as simple as UV nonsense. That'll works. But I'm going to use my Deer Creek on there. There we go. We're going to put that drop on there. And that's going to soak in. But I'm also going to take my bodkin needle and I'm going to kind of pull it down over the back. You could even let it turn it upside down, and it's self-leveling. You can see how smooth that became. And then we'll take our UV light and hit that, and it's done. But I like to ensure it by giving it a little extra time there. And here we have a Frosty Fly orange and yellow ribbed nymph. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Let them know that I sent you. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase this or any flies that I make, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it on the Etsy page, just send me a message through Etsy and we'll figure out what you're looking for. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.